finds Albert here. So there are a lot of people currently who are fallen for conspiracy theories like the moon landing isn't real, Earth is flat, and like space is fake, electric universe, things like that. and and they have quite a lot of arguments today, and I can't actually I can't tackle all of them, but today I will be doing the moon landing conspiracy theory and trying to show how we did actually land on the moon. So the first argument, one of the most common arguments is that why are there no stars in images? Well, we have a camera. Well, the cameras at the time, these were cameras from the 1960s. Remember? So they couldn't capture stars very well. And also they were there during the lunar daytime when the sun was out. and just as the sun's light drowns out the light of all the stars on Earth, so too does it do that on the moon. It's not an atmospheric effect. So there were no stars because any starlight would have been completely drowned out by the light of the sun. The second argument is why haven't we been back to the moon since? Well, a lot of people tackle this argument by saying it's just money, but it's not actually just money. Missions do cost many dollars, many millions of dollars, sometimes even billions of dollars. But NASA is also focused on many other space missions at the moment. Also, there just isn't any. Also, the reason we went to the moon in the 1960s was because of the Cold War. Now, since between then and at least the last decade, there hasn't been much impetus to actually send missions to the moon, or anything to be honest. So that's another reason. But there are many more reasons. There are many more reasons than that, but I can't go into them all. Another argument is that they just wouldn't have enough fuel to get there. They definitely had enough fuel. That's literally what the Saturn V was designed for. They're so ignorant. The people who say that there isn't enough fuel, they didn't have enough fuel to get the moon. They're just so ignorant that they don't even know the first thing about the Saturn V. It has enough fuel to go to the moon. That's what it was designed for. That's it. And another argument is that the Van Allen belts would have stopped any and all spaceships in trying to leave the Earth. Now, many people probably don't know what the Van Allen belts are. So let me explain them. Here's the Earth. Here's the Earth. And the magnetic field of the Earth is can trap radiation inside it. The sun's radiation. Normally, the sun's radiation just gets deflected away, but some or falls into the or comes to the Earth in the poles where we get the auroras. But sometimes the radiation can get trapped inside the Earth's magnetic field. These are known as the Van Allen belts, named after James Van Allen, who discovered them. Now there are actually two. There are two Van Allen belts. The first one is the inner belt, but there's also an outer Van Allen belt. That's further out. So first of all, the spacecrafts had shielding. first of all, the spacecraft had some very thick radiation shielding that made it virtually impossible for any radiation to come through. Also, if they're saying the Van Allen belts would have fried any electronics in a spacecraft, then they have to explain all the spacecraft that are not on Earth. They have to travel through the Van Allen belts. Some even multiple times. Like some probes who had to do a flyby of Earth, sometimes even 2 or 3 times, just to get to their destination. And with the Europa Clipper spacecraft being launched in October 14th of last year, and it has already left the Van Allen belts. So how do they explain that? Without invoking the truth that the Van Allen belts do not stop spacecraft. Now that's a pretty tidy summary of many other things that the moon landing conspiracy theorists say, but of course there are many other things. And I can't go into all of them, but I think I can do a few of them. Now for some context, I was in year when I was in year 6. In year 6, when I was in year 6, one of my classmates didn't believe the moon landing happened. So, and this wasn't in an online school, so we had a debate. So I had a debate with me and one of my friends. Representing the moon landing happened side, and the classmate who I mentioned before, and one of her friends, representing the moon landing didn't happen side. In the end, it all amounted to pretty much a shouting party. Since back then I didn't have very good debunking skills that I do now, and I also really hard for me to keep my temper. As such, in the end, the moon landing. My science teacher started believe that the moon landing didn't actually happen. Hopefully, if she watches this video, she'll see otherwise. And one of the arguments mentioned in that debate was that the footprints don't match with the boots that we used. So supposedly that they had different spacesuits. They were in different spacesuits then, and yet the boots somehow made different footprints. If that's what they're claiming, then they need to clarify where they got this information, from, how they know that the spacesuit is that they actually did use that spacesuit, and whether they used any others, because they sure definitely did use one particular spacesuit, or at least one of it, or at least a few variations of it, to create the specific footprint that would make the specific footprints that we see. Finally, we get to the final talking point I want to discuss for this video. That it's all a conspiracy to hide all the nations in the world. All the nations in the world have been conspiring to hide the fact that the moon landing actually happened, actually did not happen, and have been filling people's heads with videos and images of it. This is just utterly silly, because there is no because because the entire world conspiring to trick an enormous amount of people, because back then there were like a few billion of quite like 3 billion, 3.5 billion, a lot of people, pretty much. All the world conspiring to trick all those people, because 600 million of them were watching the live TV feed from Apollo 11. So why would they do that? Well, this is a problem, because there is no reason for them to just fake the moon landings. It's it could be some people say it's for some kind of control or something, but you don't. First of all, there is no tangible control you can get from faking the moon landings. And also, you don't need such a big conspiracy to control a lot of people. Just look at North Korea. Just look at North Korea. It's one country with not a lot of territory in it compared to its neighbors. And it is very, very strong. It has a very strong military and can control its population very easily, like by restricting internet access and using executions and imprisonment. And there you have it, a brainwashed people. However, elsewhere in the world, like right here where I am right now, things generally are much better. We do have like corrupt banks and whatnot, but apart from that, things are pretty normal. So why on earth would people want to conspire to trick all of us? Even the people who were the enemies of NASA, like Roscosmos, the Soviet Russian space agency. Why wouldn't they be notice? Like, how did they not notice that the moon landing was faked? If it was, which it wasn't, and why weren't they speaking up about it? Well, it's because it was real. That's why. Okay. There is no reason for a conspiracy this large to happen. There is no reason that even the enemies of NASA would not have spoken up about the moon landing being faked in one way or another. In short, saying the moon landing is fake opens a can of worms in a can of worms itself. It's just so naive to believe this, and all those problems can be resolved with just one assumption: that the moon landing happened. There is proof. And to people who don't believe the moon landing happened, all you have to do is educate yourselves, because it does not take very long to realize that the claims of grifters like Bart Seabrell and others who believe that who tell you the moon landing is fake, it doesn't take you very long to see that they're just lying. And that's where I'm going to end this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.